advantage of all your resources. If it's there and you're a child, it's yours, meaning you have access to it by right because you're a child. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if you're ever in the position where you're sitting somewhere confused about something to do, or which way to go on something, whether it be homework or social issue or whatever, if you're not talking to your father, your mother, that grandparent, Mr. Smith, the professionals around you, you're doing yourself a disservice. And also remember this, integrity builds slowly. People won't notice. It's kind of like how you grow when your grandpa said, boy, you done shut up, you know what I'm saying? But you can destroy it quickly. So remember that you are who you rock with. If you hanging with the boy that always get in trouble in class, don't never have his pencil, then when he do have it, he always got to get up and sharpen it. If that's your company, you are who you rocking with. You're not putting yourself in the best position for success. And then, on top of that, if you're any type of peer, you will use your behavior to modify his. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Just make that not cool in class. And make him sit there by himself looking crazy with that, and then he'll come around. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feed it. So, all of those things tie back into fatherhood, like Mr. Smith was saying. Your kids are going to do what they see you do, not what you tell them to do. I don't care what nobody else tell you, that's the truth. They're going to do what they see you do. Because they're going to think if you're doing it, well, they can do it. So try to stay upright and don't set yourself up for failure. You'll never be perfect. But you can always strive to be better and improve. If you see yourself hitting a dead end, modify your behavior the way you don't have to hit that. Don't just keep going to the same problem over and over without learning from it. I just wanted to put that on y'all head. You are who you rock with. That's a tremendous thing I'm learning. I've been knew it, but I'm learning it even deeper as I sit here today at 44 years old. The company you keep affects your psyche, how you view things. It's a whole bunch of things that you have to pay attention and watch what you let into your consciousness. Period.
I can give you a real life example of that. I mentioned that I live right around the corner, and there's a park next to where me and my younger brothers grew up at that had been there for 50 years. And as you know, after Hurricane Katrina, most things, parks, playgrounds were all destroyed. Well, although that park was destroyed, they left that same playground equipment there since the storm. Same playground equipment that sat in that molded, mildew-infested water for months and months at a time. So that happened. So what we did was we went to Baton Rouge, which is where the capital is. We fought to get enough money to replace that entire playground. So what we did was we took that money and took all that old equipment up. We then got a surface place over there, almost the entire park, and got brand new playground equipment to actually get that done. If we can kind of control the kind of equipment that kids are playing on, we can limit the number of kids who get sick from being infected by the kind of things that you're talking about. So usually it's trying to find money to try and solve the problem, whether or not it's for playground equipment or for schools or anything else.
What you asking, Mr. Smith?
I asked Mr. Bobby Barnes to let all of us know, adults and peers, about a particular student that he's been going to school with, and he kind of knows him, and he's going to let all of us know what's particularly, he has a special gift and talent.
This gentleman right here?
Absolutely. His name is Mr.
Mr. Landon Bigda. I am the 5th grade and I attend St. Mary's Male Academy. I'm a son of Mary.
Okay. And you asked this young man to tell us about that young man?
Yes.
All right.
Well, Landon Bishop has a mind that no one else can possess, and he's really smart, which makes him unique in a certain way. And, well, he thinks of things in a different ways than other people may think of.
Okay.
He has different opinions
All
about
right.
things.
He's well versed. Does he know what he's talking about when he speaks
Well,
in
yes.
class?
Yes, because he really pays attention, like other people may not, but he really pays attention and stays on topic.
Okay. That's interesting to me. You know why? Because it shows that you need more than just to be smart. You have to apply some things, some disciplines and whatnot. So that's what you're saying, that he's mastered some of the disciplines. Because some of you other cats are smart too. I've been talking to y'all all semester. So is it that he may be applying some extra things too that some others aren't?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. You see what your classmate thinks about you?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank him.
Thank you, Mommy. You're welcome.
The power of 3D printing is in creating something from nothing or from an idea. So when I came here, I wanted to demonstrate that. So I said, what's something that's relevant? And I made, say St. Mary's just because this is where we are. And I wanted to do something to show you guys that I created this thing. I stood here for 2 minutes and put this together so that you guys can get a look at it and watch it actually manufacturing and creating this
I have a question.
question.
Can you color that?
Yeah. So I just wanted to demonstrate that. Mr. Chad, what are we gonna, we can go outside and do our, do the balloons?
Absolutely. Go.
Thrust, friction, lift, and gravity. Thrust, friction, lift, and gravity.
Different order.
Friction, thrust, lift, gravity.
Different order.
These are the 4 forces of flight.
Gravity, lift, thrust, lift. Friction. Friction, gravity, lift, and thrust.
Different order.
Gravity, lift, friction, thrust.
Gravity, friction, thrust, lift.
Thrust, lift. I want to say that. Thrust, lift, friction, gravity.
Good job.
Thrust, friction, gravity, and lift. Thrust, friction, gravity, lift. Thrust, friction, gravity, lift.
Second grade.
Lift, friction, gravity, and thrust.
Friction, lift, thrust, and gravity.
Good job. Friction,
Friction,
thrust,
thrust,
lift,
lift,
and gravity.
gravity.
Good job,
Good
man.
job, man.
Okay. Thrust, lift, gravity, and friction.
Yes, good job.
Thrust, gravity, friction, and lift.
What's your name?
Brandon Thompson.
What grade?
6th grade.
What school?
St. Mary's Middle Academy.
What
And
are
you're
you?
a very intelligent young man.
And what are you?
I'm a son of Mary.
What are the 4 forces of flight?
Thrust, friction, lift, and gravity.
Very good.
Is we're gonna be making a rocket that travels in a horizontal direction. Okay. And we're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna record the distance that it travels, and we're gonna record the circumference of the balloon at its widest point. Who knows what circumference of a balloon is? Circumference, what is that?
And
Well, the circumference of something is like the line, like how they have the line around it. Say how long it is around a circular object.
So if you have a balloon like this one, when we blow it up to a certain size, there's a point on this balloon that's bigger than everything else, right? We're gonna measure around that value. Look at that value for me. They have some tape measures. Take one of those tape measures out, not the on a certain size. And we're gonna measure that size before we actually let it go. And then we're gonna let it go and see how far it travels.
I see you, Willie.
Then we're gonna come up with a correlation between how wide it is, or how what the circumference is,
And how far it
and
travels.
how far it travels.
Okay. That should be fine.
But in science, we always have to capture data about what we're doing. So we always have to observe. We have to come up with an idea, hypothesis, observe that thing happening, and then write something about what we think happened and justify it, explain it.
Mr. Mitchell, I hate to cut you off, but can we let Bobby Barnes explain what he had to do over the Christmas break?
Well, I had to create a hypothesis, which is what you think, well, prediction, what you think is going to happen before you start the experiment. And then I actually started the project, which was kind of easy and kind of hard. But when I came to my conclusion, I had to see if it agreed with my hypothesis. And
How did you document it?
well,
What type of report? Yes,
Lab.
a lab report. A lab report. Okay. And what was that lab report on? Yes,
DNA.
DNA. And what did you have to do?
When what to do?
Yeah.
It was due when we first
No,
came.
what did you have to do?
Well, I had to take my DNA with we had to use a sports drink, a light colored sports drink, and we actually we switched it around for 2 minutes, and we put it in a cup. So then we needed pineapple juice, dishwashing liquid, and the stick.
A skewer.
Skew. And after we put those materials inside of the cup that we were testing to, we had to spin it around good, and you could see your DNA. It was white. And then we had to write about it with charts and graphs, what type of.
So how important is writing and explaining science?
Writing is important because other scientists might use your work, so you have to translate your work.
That's correct. So if I'm the most brilliant cat in the world, if I can't convey my ideas to somebody, I'm useless. I gotta hire somebody to do it for me. So there is as a scientist, as an engineer, there is an incredible amount of necessity that I learned how to convey my information, how to communicate with people about what I do, how I do it, why we did it, what made us think about it, and come up with reasoning behind everything we do. One of the main things I did on the space program was, if there was some sort of a problem, I had to explain why that problem existed. And then I had to tell them, this is the reason why I think that problem is not a problem we need to be worried about. Or I had to say, look, this is going to cause potentially a fatal error on our part. We cannot use this material. We need to take this off of this thing, off of this vehicle. Because if we don't, we may cause that vehicle to be damaged. And we have 7 people who are going to be riding on that shuttle. And you got to be able to stand up and say, we can't do this because it's going to cause some sort of a problem with the vehicle. And it helps us to continue to do the work we do in space. So.
Okay, so we got Mr. Bishop preparing the propulsion. He's already stretched the balloon for maximum efficiency.
Yes.
And we're going for, we heard they went for 31-inch circumference, we're going for 35.
Okay. Mr. Bishop, why, if you increase the circumference, let's make a prediction. You increase the circumference of your balloon, how far do you think, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen?
Well, you increase the circumference, which is how large it is. Well, the air that's in the balloon expands the balloon, expands the circumference. Well, just because how much air is in it doesn't mean it'll go farther. It also depends on the wind and the direction of the balloon, the direction of the balloon that it goes in. So it's good to have a lot of air in it, but you want to make sure that air goes into the right direction and it goes at the right speed. Because if you have a lot of air in it, because people think you just have a lot of air in it, it will go fall, but that's not actually the case because
Other
it
conditions.
depends on the condition. Yeah, because you have it to the side.
There are other
the bal-
variables to control.
Yeah,
You're
because
right.
if you have it on the side, the balloon can just spin round and round. But if you have it on the top and you keep the direction straight up,
Yeah.
it'll go.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the but the air inside it also depends because it's good if you have the right direction and you have the air inside it. That makes the direction good. So that's my answer for that question you're asking.
Very good, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's see what that is. That's 31. Can we?
2, 1.
What? We still beat y'all. But we had some variables playing our favor. Like we didn't have much wind resistance. We are at 22 feet and 10 inches, 10 and a half inches. Data collector, 22 feet, 10 and a half inches.